everyone. Welcome to the podcast with no direction. And one day I'll write an intro for this new podcast. I had one for Lights, Camera, Nonsense. Don't have one for this one. And that's my fault. Zach, hi, how are you?
I'm annoyed.
Why are you annoyed?
Well, you might notice that I'm not properly lit. And then now it's... What? No, because yours clamps down and I don't want to ruin my screens.
Also, we're in the wrong spot. I'm not Zach.
No.
This guy's Zach.
I'd have to unscrew everything.
Why can't I?
I'd have to take out the ring light because it's like pinned between the desk and the wall. So I'd have to take the desk out and then pull the...
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I know that game. I have the exact same setup.
Yeah. Yeah, my ring light decided to crap out on me literally as I was jumping on here.
That's a pain.
Which is why I'm late.
That's okay. It's all right. I was working out the kinks for a couple of things, and yeah, we got a little bit of a cooler setup. Zach, can you name this movie?
What?
Can you name this movie? The one that's playing in the background?
I don't see. Oh, hold on. I gotta bring up the... You're not streaming to me.
I'm sorry.
Now I gotta go to Twitch.
It's too late. It's too late to change all of that.
Inflate our numbers.
Yes, by one person. I'm so sorry about this. We'll cut all this out.
House on Haunted Hill? Is that what it is?
Nope. Oh, good. I hit it with my cursor. It's the most dangerous game.
Oh.
Yeah. Which coincidentally we have a game to play today, Zach. And it is the most dangerous. It is dangerous, yes. It's not gonna be a video game, don't worry. It's not gonna crap out like it did last week. For those who are watching on YouTube, fingers crossed.
Hey, don't flip me off.
Fingers crossed, you son of a... Can't see it. There's no episode 16 because it was a Twitch only stream because of various technical difficulties, but that's okay. We played Back for Blood. It was fun. It was a mess. It was short.
Mess is the imperative word. Yes,
it's true. It's true. But fortunately, we're back up and running, and we're going to be having a much more normal-ish type of podcast today, Zach.
Yes.
But Zach, tell me how are you doing? How was your day?
I'm good. My day's so far so good. Stayed up way too late playing Fallout New Vegas again.
Yeah,
which I've done several times this week. As we talked outside of this podcast about. Oh my God, are you okay?
I sneezed like a man. Did I mute myself?
You did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all that was going on everyone else's end was you like convulsing silently.
I don't want to have that pick up, because that's gross. But sorry, you were saying.
I've just been playing a ton of New Vegas is all.
So what made you
ruining my sleep schedule in the process?
What made you want to pick that game? I didn't ask you that the other day.
Well, I had played it originally for like a couple hours on release for the 360, and I just dropped it and never came back. And then, of course, I've always heard like there's a pretty strong contingent of Fallout fans that are like, New Vegas is the best of modern Fallout. And so it's always kind of like been there for me to go back to as somebody who does enjoy like Bethesda games for your Elder Scrolls and whatnot. And I actually liked Fallout 3. I know that's divisive depending on which camp you are.
I would say if you're a Fallout fan, you'd love Fallout 3, and Fallout 4 may be more on the spectrum of liking or disliking.
Fallout 3 when it came out was pretty divisive because it steered more into RPG light aspects as opposed to full on RPG, which is what
the original Fallout and Fallout 2.
The original Fallout games were more in line with. So, and then that's why the more trend towards return to form with New Vegas is so widely regarded, because it's like, I think a lot of Fallout fans kind of see it as a perfect split between modern gameplay and like original sensibilities,
like the like being thirsty or whatever, like you have to continue to drink water or what, like the
not so much that, just more, not as streamlined as Fallout 3 is. So, but I liked Fallout 3. And so, with all of that kind of hovering around, New Vegas has always been in the background of like something I've always felt like I really need to go back and play that fully because it's up my alley. I'd probably really enjoy it. And then fast forward a decade later, and I grab it on Steam for like $3, $4 or whatever. Coincidentally, a week before Elden Ring came out. So
it's remained untouched until now.
I played it for like another 4 hours, and then Elden Ring came out.
Yeah.
And then I haven't gone back to it until this past week, or like a little last week. At the end of last week, I started messing around with it, and my initial impression when I first jumped into just vanilla Vegas, it's a older game that does not run well on modern machines.
Yeah.
So then starts the process of let me mod the shit out of this. Which I proceed to do for the first half of this week. I don't actually start fully playing New Vegas until like Thursday, because I'm getting all the bug fixes and meshes and texture packs I want.
I actually had to do the same thing for Resident Evil 5 because there was a lot of DRM on that game that required you to have like a specific like Xbox Live Marketplace like way that it works.
Anything that came out on was the Windows Vista store, I think it was, is almost irreparably broken at this point, because hey, that store doesn't exist anymore. So anything that requires you to use even a little bit of its infrastructure is just a mess.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you have to go out of your way to find people who have hacked essentially ways to make those games playable. And what sucks is that the reason I wanted to play it was to play it with somebody who's a bit too busy right now, which is okay.
Some important things.
More important things. But like the fact that you get stuck, and speaking of which, like Overwatch 2 being its own thing, did you hear about like how you have to have a phone number associated with it?
Yes,
on a contract.
Yes, a lot of what are they called? Like Cricket
phones.
Wireless type phone deals. They just will not work because of the way they're verifying your Blizzard account or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just a whole fucking mess. Overwatch 2.
It's when people keep asking me like what do you think about Overwatch 2? Isn't it just like Overwatch 1.5, or what's the big difference? I'm like, there's a lot different, but there's also a lot that is the same. And the way that Blizzard is handling like just the overall release of it, not just the huge queues, the fact that people are having to wait forever to even be able to play the game. And granted, that was, the first couple of days,
and then when you are actually able to connect, it's like all I've seen is just people disconnecting at the moment that they're firing a gun at someone.
Yeah, random. A lot of the heroes played it. It is a different game, but it's not different enough to call it Overwatch 2. It's like I keep comparing it from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, where it is the same game but slightly more polished. And shut down the original. They didn't shut it down.
what's the through line there? I wonder. It couldn't be the publisher.
It couldn't be
What?
Activision. It couldn't be Activision.
No.
But yeah, the fact that they shut down Overwatch 1 and it simply doesn't exist anymore. And, you know, we're seeing that not only in video games, we're seeing that in movies, we're seeing that in TV shows, we're seeing that all across the board. And people are coming out and saying, like, this is why I own physical media. I'm like, but you still can't play that physical media. You know, if you bought
the way they do, like, in terms of patching, like day one patches and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, excuse me.
Not excused.
My body just tried to kill me there.
Welcome to your 30s.
Yeah, it's basically just the disc has a license on it at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a little better than just fully digital. I myself am a very strong proponent of physical media. The problem with computer games, however, is most of the time PCs don't even have a fucking optical drive anymore.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
And just dialing it back to the Overwatch 2 phone fiasco, when I initially read that argument about like people being upset that they have a prepaid phone and they can't play Overwatch anymore, my gut, like, not gut reaction, my kick reaction, what is the phrase? Where knee jerk, thank you. Knee jerk reaction is that you haven't. It's weird that you want to be able to play this brand new game that runs on, granted, a majority of PCs, but not all PCs, but you can't play it anymore because of the phone, because you don't have a phone on a contract. You have a cheaper phone plan, or you're on a family phone plan, like you're younger, and you want to play this, but you can't anymore because your parents bought you. You're on a family plan, and it's the whole thing. But it's weird. It's kind of that a bit classist. In all honesty, it pushes out the people.
Absolutely is. You know, computers, even, you know, entry level, they're pretty expensive. You know, you can get a decent one for cheap that'll run on low settings, but I mean, then you have to take into account with a game like Overwatch, you have to have a good network connection, which a lot of people don't have access to here in America. If you do have a computer in your home, it might just be one for the whole family. You know, some people don't have their very own personal computers that they can just use with whatever. It's like, you know, when we were kids, and if we wanted to do anything in terms of online gaming, or, you know, just online web surfing, somebody's on the phone. Well, can't do that.
Yeah, can't. You know, your Halo game doesn't work as well. You know.
Yeah.
Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is a you know. Oh well, I guess you're not well off enough for this sort of thing.
Huh. Scary movie.
But you know, I for one am shocked that Blizzard is not handling this as well as they could be. You know, they're like the epitome of handling things well.
I was like, just back when they literally had everything going for them with it. I mean, people were already pissed that we're getting like Overwatch 2, even though Overwatch 1 is fine. Yeah. They lost a lot of the player base because of everything outside of the game that they were doing. You know, the political stances that they were taking overseas,
all of the abuse allegations,
the fact that they had to rename characters
there.
Yeah. So many other things, the things that they try to fix. You know, I mean, they didn't, but they attempted to. Devil's advocate.
Try is a very loose way of phrasing it.
I know, but try is a very loose term lately, especially. I won't get into the Try Guys thing, or SNL making fun of that whole fucking thing. Did you see that?
No. I've seen reactions to it this morning, but I haven't.
It's pretty messed up. The whole world is in this weird, like, spiteful, and I really think it's because we're all on like the same fucking wavelength. This is the whole like Mercury and retrograde thing that, you know, fucking crystal ladies, you know, in every, you know, central market and Trader Joe's is like, it's Mercury is
Can't
in
even say it.
Mercury's in retrograde, so of course everybody's going crazy. But like, I think everyone is literally going crazy because we're once again at one of those influx points in like history and the world. We have major elections for not only the United States but for other countries. Hold on, I have a point. Um, but because of that, we have a lot of people that are in flux when it comes to power. The OPEC Council, the oil production or petroleum economic council, just met and said, hey, let's fucking raise gas prices all over the world because we fucking can. And so we have to deal with that, not only as Americans but as people who live, you know, with these other countries that own 95% of the world's oil. I know I feel like I'm running down a tangent, but I have a nut button. So just,
Yeah, that's the end of that thought.
I could just go down a tirade, but I promise I won't. So
Long and short of it is everyone's on edge and stressed and mad. That's
just chill out. Anyway,
that actually is probably a good strategy.
Chill out and nut.
Yeah.
Everybody just relax and go jerk off. Okay?
Everybody just needs a good wank.
Everybody needs a good wank. Granted,
it's the episode title right there.
Oh man, I already wrote it in. I wrote it in. It's something else. This is supposed to be a spooky episode. It's October. So first things first, welcome.
First things first, I'll eat your brain. And then I'll start running away.
Is that from something else? What was that from?
It's from Monster. It's a song.
Oh. Cool.
Because that's what a motherfucking monster do.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't listen to Kanye. So anyway,
yeah. That's probably bad timing, actually. Think about it.
Yeah, he's having a rough week as well. I have.
If it makes it any better, the Nicki Minaj portion of that is what's good.
Anyway, so I have a quiz here. It's called "How long would you last in a horror movie?" And I want to see how long you would last in a horror movie, Zach.
Okay.
I'll read them off to you. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, let's do that.
I can't see it at all because we're both blocking the start and the end of.
Oh my god! Fine. Where is this? What would this even be? I just brought it over. Anyway, the first question is: you enter your significant other's house. You live in separate houses, Zach. I'm sorry, but it's dark and no one is home. What do you do? I'm sorry. I had 5 guys. They're coming back.
I'll do it.
They're coming back. All 5 of them. You enter your significant other's house, but it's dark and no one is home. What do? Do you loudly announce that I'm about to take a shower?
Normal.
That I'm about to take a shower.
Yeah.
You go into Casey's. You're separated. You're in different houses, and then you walk in. You're like, "Hey, Nick's about to take a shower."
I don't know. Don't ask me how I know this, but I'm aware.
Because I texted it to you. I send you pics. Anyway, or do you leave immediately? Do you grab a knife from the kitchen? Or do you whisper hello over and over?
Knife from the kitchen.
Immediately. That's your first thought.
Yes, knife from the kitchen.
So you walked into Casey's house. Congrats to her, by the way. She can own a house in this market. And then you just immediately go for a knife.
Yes.
Okay. This is sorry. I know I'm building a universe around this quiz. It's going to be relevant later. All right. Grab a knife from the kitchen. Next.
Here's the issue with this quiz, right? Is because I'm already aware that it's a horror survival quiz.
That's the problem.
Like,
yeah. That is the
problem. There's obviously a issue of the fact that I already know that there's something to be concerned about.
Right. Here, we'll do this.
Oh, I'm gone. Oh, you're gone.
Yeah. Okay, so which of the following best describes you?
Well, you know this. I don't even have to answer. You know this.
Hold on. I'm disappearing things.
I just got done talking about how I was modding the Fallout New Vegas for half a week.
I feel
what
like
do you think?
I feel like Girl Next Door would definitely be you. Okay, so Nerd Geek, not good. Not good. I don't like how there's only 3 options. I feel like there's the stoner, and there's the
one who dies first.
the slut, you know, which wouldn't be you, but you get my point.
Promiscuous individual.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. Good on you. You're hiding in a closet because you realize that you're in someone else's home with a knife.
Yeah.
So you're being a real creep about it. And you hear footsteps nearby. What do you do? What do you do? Do you make a run for it? Do you stay quiet? Do you whimper uncontrollably? Or do you peek through the crack?
Stay quiet.
No, hello, puppet.
Hello, puppet.
Hello, puppet.
Actually, it's not on here. What I would really do, well, no, because it might be Casey. I was going to say I'd wait for those footsteps to get like just a little bit past the door, and then I open them and stab them.
Yeah, but that's not good because you're someone else's
It's
home.
probably my wife.
I don't know what happened, but you both have separate houses, and you're in her house. So,
well, am I the bad guy in this scenario?
You might be. You might be the stalker. All right, stay quiet. The villain is chasing you around your house. So we got a villain.
Yes.
Where do you go? Upstairs? Into my basement? Into Nick's basement? I have a house. That's awesome. Back into the closet. Take your time. Come out when you need to. Or outside.
I'm going to go outside.
Okay, you're going outside. Bad move, in my opinion.
Probably, just by horror logic, but also I never get why anyone goes upstairs.
Yeah, well.
I never understand that. Let me make it harder to get away.
I mean, it worked out for Sydney in Scream. In multiple installments, so who knows? Lying in bed at night, you hear a strange noise coming from downstairs. What do you do? This might be a different...
This is a different scenario.
Yeah, you're lying in bed at night and you hear a strange noise coming from downstairs. 2-story house. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you do? Go back to sleep? It's probably just the wind. In your house.
Sure.
Call out, is anybody there? Lock the door or hide under my bed.
Lock the door.
I live there.
Yeah. Lock the door.
Okay.
This is a scenario in which I would pick up a knife.
Yeah.
Also.
That's fair. Or a blunt object just in case.
Any sort of defense mechanism.
That actually happened. Okay, so a little take ourselves out real quick.
Let me adjust my framing because I was really in the zone. Like I'm in the horror.
All
but
right.
now I'm out. All right.
So in my apartment, I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment, and in between the bedrooms is the washer and dryer and the water heater unit. And unfortunately, every time we need to use hot water, one of the pipes wiggles.
Yeah,
it just wiggles anytime it has to activate hot water. Not a crazy thing when you know about it, but when it's like 1 a.m,
yeah,
and I'm trying to go to sleep,
it's a little concerning.
And I hear a, and it's just the 4 taps, with two back to back, and it freaks me out because I think my roommate is knocking on my door and he's not. He is asleep. So I'm like, oh shit, it's a ghost. Oh wait, it's the water heater. Somebody either in our unit or the unit next to us is using hot water or something. And so, yeah, anytime I do laundry, I hear it and I see it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that is. But in the middle of the night, it's terrifying.
There's a split second where you're like, oh God, I'm about to die.
It's terrifying.
But at least you figured it out. Now all you have to do is get to the bottom of, that low whisper of, we're coming to get you, Nicholas.
Oh, they used my full name. I'm in trouble.
Well, yeah, it's a ghost.
Oh, okay.
They're always going to use full names.
They're not as familiar with me. They don't want to use just the nickname.
Yeah.
I get to use that for the rest of my life, Zach. Let me have it. Okay, so you're gonna lock the door.
Yeah, you can have it.
There you go.
I'm not the arbiter of who gets what in this scenario.
Who gets what nickname? You're driving along a country road. Country
road.
Take me home at night with friends when the car engine dies. What do you do next? Stay in the car while everyone else looks for a gas station.
Wow, what an asshole.
Everyone sleeps in the car until morning. That's it. That's what happens. You're in the middle of the highway. I-35.
Yeah.
It's country road. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, because we're on a country road in where we live. Everyone sleeps in West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Wander off into the woods looking for self-service or take turns keeping watch at night.
These are all terrible.
Yeah.
The least terrible is probably take turns watching at night.
Yeah. That almost seems like we've given up at that point. Yeah. Right? For some reason, we all carpooled, which, is good for the environment. But at the same time, that really limits our options whenever we get stuck or stranded like this. And I've watched too many horror movies to where, one of us is at least dying or getting maimed,
Here's just a carte blanche on anyone who finds themselves possibly in this scenario of like, oh, we can shave a couple minutes off of our drive by taking this back road instead of just going down the main road or the highway. Don't take the back road at night.
Don't do that.
Just don't. It's not even for the case of like there might be an axe murderer out there, but legitimately those things are never lit. So you're probably gonna run the risk of crashing into something or a fucking deer. Yeah. Just take the highway. It's not worth it. It's just
stop doing that, people. Don't even do it like if you're going to like a party in the woods. Don't go to the party in the woods because that's the shit that's when that happens.
It's the sequel to Cabin in the Woods.
Party in the woods. Awesome. So which one?
I said take turns.
Take turns. Watch. That's right. Take turns. Okay. Your ideal getaway, this is question 7 of 10, okay. Is somewhere tropical, a road trip through the countryside, a secluded resort in the mountains, or my house where it's safe.
My house where it's safe. But actually, that is legitimate.
That's such a stupid way.
Not even in just a horror scenario. Out of all those, my pick would be my house.
Same. Somewhere tropical. The killer is pounding on your front door. You already know he's a killer. What do you do? Try to hold it shut? Scream for help? Lock the deadbolt and run out the back, or move all my furniture in front of the door. I don't know why you're moving my furniture in front of your door.
Yeah, well, you're out of town, which is obviously why I'm alone. And, I'll move it back. Think the deadbolt and go out the back is a trick. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to move all the furniture in front of the door because I know that's where the killer is.
Right.
So if I just, push it over there, and then I can block that entrance, and then any other entrance I can keep an eye on.
Fair enough.
I funneled them.
Fair enough. You think your house might be haunted. What do? Do you call a priest? Do you hold a seance? Do you move immediately? Which I never really got. How do you do that? Why would you break your lease like that? At least work it out with your management, In
the sense of a house, it's you have enough available funds to first buy this house and then immediately move out.
Yeah. I get the short-term solution of going to a hotel for a couple of days and then using any one of these other options. But what the fuck? How do you do that in this economy? Or try to record the paranormal activity. That's the last option.
That's the worst one. Don't do that.
Just gonna agitate it.
It's move out immediately, priest, and what was the other one?
Priest, seance, hold a seance.
Don't do that.
Move immediately and try to record.
Oh gosh. Well, in the fantasy realm of where I have an unlimited amount of funds, I'd probably move.
Fair enough. You knocked out the killer. What do you do next? Do you finish the killer off? Do you run away again? Do you get close to see if the killer is still breathing? Or take a picture with my phone? Evidence for the cops later.
Yeah, finish that fucker off.
Yeah.
What a dumbass. Let me make him unconscious. This is your punishment, death.
Even if you think you've killed him, you double tap. You double tap that killer.
Yeah, it's a rule.
It's literally a rule. You knocked out the kill. I submitted it. How long would you last, Zach? Would you like to click to get your result?
Yeah, let's get my result. Let's see if I died or not.
I'm sorry, what?
Start the survey.
Which of the following hotel brands are you aware of?
Just do none of the above for everything.
Yeah.
You know.
How often do you travel? Never. Just myself. Prefer not to say. None of the above. Never, never, never.
Just click things at random.
You would last 81 minutes in a horror movie. You are the lone survivor. 81 minutes isn't very long.
But I'm the lone survivor, which means that's the length of the movie.
Good God. Advertisements? What the hell? It was showing me Queen's Blade stuff. That's not okay. That's not what I watch. That's not what I watch. That's not targeted.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I'm seeing those everywhere.
I wonder why.
Nope. So, 81 minutes, you would be the lone survivor. I guess I died. In case
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you either died or, like I said, you're out of town, which is why I'm able to move all your furniture.
Okay, am I out of town in that I am the friend who... Am I giving you advice over the phone at one point? And I'm okay
Maybe
the entire time?
Out of town. Maybe, like, at the start of the movie, you're like, okay, I'm going out of town. And then you're gone for the majority of it. And then at the end, the big twist is that you were the killer all along.
Wait, that's not cool. Okay.
Hey, you're telling me you're trying to kill me for 81 minutes.
I'm either the killer or I come in at the last minute and I'm the final, like, kill to tease the sequel or to, like, hint at that the killer is still alive. Because, like, I come back and you're like, you leave because you got injured in the movie. You got, like, stabbed in the arm or something. And so you go into the ambulance and I pull up and apparently everyone's left. So I just go in and the killer is no longer there, but then he appears behind me and then, cuts off my head or something.
Or historically speaking, because I'm the lone survivor in the first one, it means I'm the first to die in the sequel. So you could be the main character in the sequel who's trying to get to the bottom of my death.
That's a good subversion. I feel like the lone survivor who gets killed at the beginning of the second one is a bit cliche. Actually,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, either, like, at that point, it has to either have been all in your head, or it has to have been, like...
That's worse.
It has to have, like, the killer was a connection to you, so it would be Casey or me, which would make more sense. I just don't want to be the killer. I just want to explain the fact away that I would be the killer in that case.
It sounds like something a killer would say.
Because why would I go out of my way to say, like, hey, I'm going out of town, and then, like, not go out of town and murder you
because you need a cover.
And your wife and...
Because anytime the police are, I'm talking to them, they're like, "Where's your roommate?" I'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's out of town. Couldn't possibly be him."
Yeah, because it's just you and me in a 2-story house in this scenario, and in like all of those scenarios combined, it's me and you. And Casey lives in a separate house.
I'm starting to paint a picture here.
It's
Things
weird.
are coming together.
I don't like it.
Why is she in a separate house? Well, I'm living with Nick. So.
Uh-oh. Don't tell her. She's right behind you.
She's a killer.
Oh,
that's why she wasn't there.
Oh, a jealous ex. Aha. This don't read into this, viewers. It means nothing. Hey, look, an old movie.
How could you say such a thing?
How could you? Can I show?
Is that what you think? It means nothing.
It means nothing. This is perfect. This is the perfect birthday present, by the way. I don't think you. I mean, other than like an actual like. No, this is the perfect one.
Yeah, how long did you say you had that on your Amazon wish list?
I had it on my Amazon wish list. I'm not even kidding. Let me look it up actually, because it'll be on here somewhere. I don't want to dox myself though, so.
Probably a good idea.
So, are there any horror movies that are coming out that you're kind of interested in checking out? While I look this up,
I need to go back and watch I can't remember what the first one was called, but or was X the first one, and then there's a sequel to that?
Oh, X, which came out
Yeah,
earlier this year, directed by Ty West, and then Pearl, which is a
Pearl. That's it. Yeah,
prequel.
I need to sit down and watch those because I've heard nothing but great things about those.
X was great. I haven't seen Pearl. It's actually still in theaters, and I might go see it either tonight or tomorrow because I got tomorrow off. But I've heard really good things about that one too. And there's been a third movie that's already been announced. I think that's supposed to come
Oh,
out.
really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
early next year. So that's cool.
And then the new Hellraiser just dropped on Hulu.
That's true.
So I need to watch that. That's
You,
also I've been hearing good things about that.
I have too, and I didn't say it on the podcast, but you and I talked about it. My roommate and I both watched the first two Hellraisers, and I had never seen the Hellraiser movies before. I have gone out of my way to not see them somehow. It being like one of those like classic horror franchises that's had so many entries in it. 11.
It's like,
by the way,
it's like, if you're thinking of like classic 80s horror, quote unquote slasher or ultra violent movies.
Yeah.
It's in there, but it's like third or fourth down below Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween.
Well, because sorry, go ahead.
I get why someone would kind of pass over them because it's not like the first one you would think of in terms of from an outsider's perspective of what seem to encompass the same sort of area. But when you actually sit down and watch them, they're not slasher movies.
No, they're really more of like they're just creepy movies because like there's not a lot of jump scares. I mean, there are scary moments in it, but at least for the first two movies, they are very much like, hey, the horror is just always happening. And for the most part, I just spoiler alert for the first Hellraiser, which came out in like 86, I believe. The titular monsters don't even show up until like more than halfway through the movie. It's all about building up the main characters and why the monsters show up in the first place. It's not like everything that happens to the characters in the movie happens to them for a reason, except for the final girl. So I got some dust on my webcam. And it's really interesting because the second one happens immediately after, which is I wouldn't say it's not unheard of, but it's rare when it happens in horror movies. And I like it because it makes it that much more satisfying when you watch them back to back like we did. And the only problem and the main reason why I was trying to cut you off earlier was because the Hellraiser franchise is not known for its quality. Granted, most of them aren't. There's a lot of Halloween movies. There's a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street movies that are not great, that are lower in quality.
It's the same curse as, like, oh, there's 6 of this movie series or 8 of this movie series. The last few are going to be what quality-wise sticks in a lot of people's heads, even though at some point early on, there's a reason why they took off. It's just like diminishing returns over time.
And I actually looked this up when we were pulling up Hellraiser because we were trying to figure out how many
movies,
how many horror franchises have so many entries. And I'll pull it up. I got it right here. Thank you, Screen Rant. I like you. Night of the Living Dead has 6 films and counting. They vary in like relevance, due to George A. Romero. George A. Romero's
cheating one,
because you got remakes in there too.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity has 7 of them.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Paranormal Activity released a movie, I think it was last year.
Yeah. And it was a Paramount Plus exclusive.
Yep. And I don't remember anyone saying anything about it other than that it was terrible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 8 films, which I don't think that includes the most recent one, which was terrible, which was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, because this is from 2020. So this won't include the latest remakes of some of these. Saw won't have Spiral, so that's technically 9. With a new Saw coming out next year, I believe. The Conjuring has 8, which is kind of cheating because I think that's counting as its spin-offs and stuff.
It's counting all the Annabelle movies and the Curse of La Llorona and stuff like that. Which
Llorona.
I wouldn't really. I mean, they are, but it's like in the loosest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it's Annabelle 3 is essentially just a fucking
Conjuring
Avengers movie. Conjuring type movie.
Yeah. I remember that coming out in theaters, and I'm like, why are there so many of these? Nobody cared about the first one. They're kind of spooky, but like.
Oh, Annabelle, you mean? I thought you were talking about Conjuring. Like, what? Conjuring is like a legitimately good horror movie.
Oh yeah. No, they are. Nightmare on Elm Street has 9. I know that they're trying to work out something.
Qualities.
That's the first franchise, first horror franchise I think of when it comes to like, man, they really dropped off after a certain point. But the thing is, the reason that they do is because Wes Craven decided to make it more and more meta as the series went on.
New Nightmare is just that.
It's what he wanted to do, and what he ended up doing again was Scream right after. Children of the Corn has so many entries.
Which is crazy to me because the first one's not even good.
It's not even good.
Legitimately, it's a terrible, awfully acted movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not good.
It's perpetuating like stereotypes of like farmers and stuff and how scary they can be, but it's
I think legitimately the only reason why it's still like this universally sort of known franchise, as it were, is because it started, or it was a big point in the kids are fucking freaks sort of a narrative. But yeah, I mean, I would have not even bothered watching anything past the first one.
What? Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, I pulled on my microphone cord. Would you like to know the subtitles of some of these movies?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go down the list. Children of the Corn, the original.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest.
Oh, okay. We're out of the farm now.
We're in suburbia, baby. Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering. None of these movies have been directed by the same person, back to back, which is always a great sign. Children of the Corn 5, Fields of Terror.
That's a decent subtitle. If I wanted to know this movie's gonna be shit up front, that's a decent way to go about telling me.
It gets better. Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return.
Hey, that's like a Kingdom Hearts subtitle, right?
Son of a bitch. 666 over 6. Children of the Corn Revelation, because we were in that like.
Oh, that's boring.
That was 2001, but like
time for all the R subtitles: Revelation, Revenge, Return.
Hold on, because it gets better. Children of the Corn Genesis.
Hey, there we go.
That's just that's another one. Children of the Corn Runaway, which was 2018, and then Freestyle Releasing's very own Children of the Corn, where they just rebooted it.
Full circle. Now we're into after the reboot Children of the Corn. We're gonna go to adding an article at the front of it of the Children of the Corn.
I think it's just Children of the Corn.
Right, but the next one, the eventual next one, is gonna have the.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's
those movies, I say those movies. I haven't seen anything past the first one, and that one was bad. So I can only assume everything else is bad after it. So I feel okay in saying this. Those movies are shit.
Oh, good lord! So 2020's Children of the Corn had a budget of $30 million, right? Guess what it made?
Like $1,000.
Box $1,000 and $1,025.
You're saying there's no like name value?
To be fair, that was 2020. Not a lot of people at the theaters, you know. That came out.
Did it even release theatrically?
It says theatrically, yeah.
What was in like 50 theaters
in Sarasota? In Sarasota, in California or Florida, sorry. Yeah. And then they're working on a remake. Or no, I'm sorry, that was the remake. And yeah, no one saw it because it came out in October of 2020. But moving on, Puppet Master is another franchise with 12.
I've never sat down and watched Puppet Master. That's 12. That's wild.
12. And I think all of them, or a majority of them, have been directed by the same guy. Puppet Master film series. Because I wanna break down this stuff. No, I was incorrect completely. So here's the films: Puppet Master, Puppet Master 2, Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge, Puppet Master 4, Puppet Master 5, The Final Chapter. Incorrect.
God, I love
Not
that.
even halfway through.
That is my favorite because Final Destination did the same shit.
Yep.
The Final Chapter.
And dude,
proceed to make 2 more afterwards.
Jason did that. Friday the 13th did that. Puppet Master 5, The Final Chapter. Curse of the Puppet Master is 6. Retro Puppet Master. Puppet Master the Legacy. And then Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. Puppet Master Axis of Evil. Puppet Master X Axis Rising. Puppet Master Axis Termination.
Jesus Christ.
Puppet Master The Littlest Reich. Blade.
Oh, wait a minute.
Blade the Iron Cross, and then Dr. Death. That
took a pretty wild turn on the tail end there.
Blade the Iron Cross.
Is the puppet a Nazi? Is that the thing?
I think so. Or the person who made them. I kind of want to watch these, like just all of them. But most of them have been released by Full Moon Studios, who, if you don't know, or Full Moon Features, who, if you don't know, make B movies, like just straight up, like the ones you find in like bargain bins, buried deep. Even the first one.
I look forward to your 12 movie breakdown.
Oh, just
next week.
Yep, you're welcome. I plan on it. You know what? Fucking challenge accepted. I will watch all of these.
All right, if you want to torture yourself like that.
I will. Stay tuned. Oh my god, what have I done? Okay, so moving back. And then Friday the 13th has 12. Which we, talked about. Yeah. It's a classic, You could start with a lot of the different entries and get different like
Yeah. And like with a lot of these types of franchises that go on forever, the lore is so loose. Like, don't worry about it. It's all just pretense to watching a dude hack at people. Like, it's fine.
It's supposed to like reach a specific like feeling inside of you. Like anybody could be a slasher. It's supposed to creep you out. The older ones have definitely aged, but
yeah. Well, and the first one isn't even a normal quote unquote Friday the 13th movie,
right? That's the whole that's in every horror movie quiz, by the way. I was gonna do a horror movie quiz, and I'm like, who is the killer in Friday the 13th? And I'm like, oh, it's fucking Pamela Voorhees. It's this mama.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
Man, I miss. I've been really missing the asymmetrical Friday the 13th game that came out a few years ago.
It's still going strong.
God, but they can't update it anymore because of all the licensing nonsense shit. So like now the de facto sort of horror movie asymmetrical team game is Dead by Daylight, which is fine. I haven't actually really spent a whole lot of time on Dead by Daylight, but it always looks fun. But
It's
Man, that Friday the 13th game was so much. I remember I was playing that religiously like a couple years ago.
it was broken. It was a broken game.
It had its issues, but it was so fun. I loved that game. It's one of the few like persistent online games that I actively enjoy.
11 entries. Yeah, I did too. It was just there was a lot, I tried to play religiously because there were a lot of people that I was playing with at the time that wanted the game to work so badly, you know. And by the time it did, you know, most people had dropped off to move on to something else, and that's the problem with those asymmetrical, you know, multiplayer games. Same thing happened to Predator Hunting Grounds. We played that together. I had a lot of fun with that game, but there wasn't a lot to it, and they don't add enough to it quick enough to keep people.
Well, and that's the thing with the Friday the 13th one that's so devastating is that when you play it, you can feel the love that the developers have for the franchise. There's so much like historical extras hidden in there, and so much attention to detail that they give to it. It's just because of the fucking licensing nonsense that they couldn't really update it past like just standard bug fixes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and eventually had to be dropped. And then they're the same team that did Hunting Grounds, and they also did.
They're not. They're not the same. They're not the same team. I think some of the people from the team made Hunting Grounds, but they went on to make Layers of Fear 2. Right? Am I looking at the developer or the publisher? I was looking at the publisher.
Okay.
Ilphonic did it, and they did Predator Hunting Grounds, and they're coming out with Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, which is coming out soon. And there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre asymmetric game that is coming out next year.
That one's a little weird to me.
It's a different.
I don't feel like it has the same sort of fan love as Friday the 13th. But, you know,
it's a different kind of game though. Like it's 3v4, so it's more of like a deathmatch kind of game. Which it'll be interesting. I think I'm more interested in the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed game.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a barely playing on that.
No, you never know. It might come out in time. It literally comes out in October 18th, so maybe. Like, actually, if it drops on Game Pass, we might do that.
Yeah. They
actually got Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd, which is amazing. Yep. That's cool, but not Burt Reynolds. Not Burt Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. You can do it. It's there. It's a beat. It's a beating.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, that's it.
I got it. No, it's just Burt Reynolds in my head. It's just Burt Reynolds.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. I got it. Fuck. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Cats and dogs living together.
Yep. Zach, can I show you something that's really exciting?
Oh man, I don't think you should do that on camera.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll show you the other thing. So I actually updated the merch store. We have something new on the merch store that you can buy right now. And if you use our promo code, hold on, I'll just show you. What? It's the haunting of the Goose.
The haunting.
It's a very creepy poster. If you head on over to store.lightscameranonsense.com and you decide to get a canvas print of this creepy freaking thing, look at that. Staring directly into your soul, Zach.
It is. I can feel it.
And you type into the promo code slot Ghost good Ghost. You'll get 10% off your order. And that's just for the Twitch people. I'll cut this part out. Maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know. It's only for a week. The promo is only for a week. So
if you're watching this after, let's see, what's a week from now? After October 16th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. If it's after October 16th, I'm sorry, you're too late.
I can't hear you.
Can't take you anywhere.
Shut up. Shut up. All right. Is it working? Test. Hello? Okay. Fuck. Yeah, so it's $20 right now, and you can get 10% off, which I believe math means you can get it for $2. No, that's nope. Burt Reynolds. So Haunting of the Goose you could buy right now. Store.lightscommononsense.com. Normally I would do this at the end, but we're getting there and I'm running out of time. Oh look, we're right at an hour. So yeah, store.lightscommononsense.com. Let's go back to that scary movie. Look at what's happening.
Naturally.
The most dangerous game is dog. Oh, that dog is dead.
My God.
Not really. It's a movie. It's okay. It's a set. Another dog. Oh, he's gone. Oops. There's dialogue. I don't know why they're not saying anything. Yep. Cigarette time.
Chicks will watch. It is cigarette time.
Well, this has been the Good Goose Podcast. Thank you so much for watching whatever the hell this was. Next week, look out for an intro. I'm going to actually write an intro. We're going to have an intro for this podcast.
Believe it when I see it.
All right, well.
Or hear it. One of the two.
Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.